dynamic force that gives us the power to overcome. The law, or legalism, is actually a magnet that draws out of us all kinds of sin and corruption. The old nature delights in breaking the law of God. So when a believer who is living under law, who is living under legalism, becomes tired and discouraged, they eventually give up. Now, I'm going to share a little secret with you from the history of the Church of the Nazarene. Once upon a time, we were pretty legalistic. Women could not wear makeup, could not wear jewelry. You were not to dance. You did not watch movies. I like to put it this way. We don't drink, smoke, or chew, and we did not go with those what do.
Yeah.
And we got very legalistic. And there was no room for grace, and there was no room for mercy, and there was no room for forgiveness. And it cost us a lot. Now, please understand, I am not advocating that we go out and live however we want to live, because the Holy Scriptures say that is not what we do. What I am telling us this morning is we do not have to live under legalism. Okay, I have 3 rings on right now. I do not believe I'm going to go to hell because I'm wearing 3 rings. I believe I will go to hell if I don't do what God calls me to do. If I do not love those around me, I am bound for hell. If I do not set God in first place in my life, I am in trouble. We cannot be legalistic, but we also cannot operate under the cheap grace that we talked about last week. We cannot cheapen God's grace to the point that we say, I can do whatever I want because God's going to forgive me. That is not how it works. Paul says here, oh, wretched man that I am. And the Greek word that he's using here indicates a person who is utterly exhausted after a battle. Now, I can think of little that would be more wretched than exerting every ounce of energy you have, every single bit of willpower that you have, trying to live a good life, only to come face to face with the realization that the best you can do is not good enough. In and of ourselves, we are not good enough. We are not strong enough. Our flesh is always at war with God. But here's the good news. You knew I was going to get to the good part. Here's the good news. The Spirit can only obey the Word of God. Capital S, Holy Spirit. So here's the secret. The secret of doing good. The secret of living the Christian life. The secret of living the way God calls us to live is to yield to the Holy Spirit. It's both that complicated and that simple. We must yield to the Holy Spirit. We have to allow Him to show us those areas in our lives where we are still trying to obey God's law in our own strength. Now, I have challenged us with this before, and I am going to challenge us with it again, because I believe that it is vital to our Christian walk. I want to challenge each of us this week. Set aside some time where you can get alone with God. Get real quiet. And I want you to ask Him this really important question. I want you to say, God, where in my life am I putting my desires on the throne? And then I want you to be quiet and let God speak. Because I promise you, if you ask God to show you what is standing between you and Him, He will. But here's the wonderful thing about our God. when we humble ourselves before him and we say, God, show me anywhere that I am quenching your spirit. Show me anywhere that I am grieving your spirit. Show me anywhere that I am trying to live in my own power and not yours. He not only will show us, he will forgive us, and then he will empower us through his Holy Spirit to turn toward him once again. Thanks be to God through Jesus Christ our Lord. He gives us his Spirit to live in us, to convict us of the areas where we fall short, and to give us the power to surrender to him and live differently. Y'all, we don't have to live this Christian life in our own power. And if you've been paying attention for the last 30 minutes, you know that we can't live this Christian life in our own power. But through the power of the Holy Spirit living inside of us, we can. This is another great truth from Paul that brings great comfort and great confidence for us as Christians. Amen. Won't you stand this morning and receive the benediction? Father, as always, it has been good to be in your house this morning. Lord, I thank you for the many ways that you care for us and for the many ways that you demonstrate that care in our lives. Father, I pray that as we go forward into this week, you will be gracious enough to show each of us where we're missing the mark. Help us be humble enough to admit it. And then, Lord, pour out your forgiveness and your mercy and your Holy Spirit to give us the strength to live the way you have called us to live. And we believe that through your Holy Spirit, we will be able to live lives that are pleasing to you. Lord, I ask that you would protect and strengthen each person here this morning. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Lord bless you before I dismiss.